Cuzaroo. Slapperoonie.
It's showtime.
A W-A-A-T-P.
W-A-T-P.
Hello, Rubber Dicks and Cuzzaroos. Welcome to another episode of Who Are These Podcasts, the best and most famous business brainstorming podcast on the internet today. I'm your host, Carl. With me today, a man who could smell Stuttering John through YouTube, from the Blind Mike Project and Why Are You Laughing? It's Mike Geary. Welcome back to the show, Mike.
Oh, it's such an honor. Is the smell thing because I can't see, Carl? I don't care for those jokes.
You have a heightened sense of smell, and
no, I don't like
John's got that BL thing going. Sensitive Mike's on the show with us today. Please go to whoarethese.com to get our email address, voicemail number, link to our subreddit, link to the Discord server, link to our merchandise, link to the YouTube channel, and then link to Patreon and Supercast, featuring 2 exclusive bonus episodes every single month, as well as live video streams of every episode on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This week coming up will be part 6 of Easy for You to Say. Excited to get back on that. Yeah. It's been a while.
It seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Isn't that what triggered all of this?
I think so, yeah.
You're a very dangerous guy.
September 17th is the roast of Carl and Vinny. You can get tickets on creepoffroast.com. And, of course, come in the day early if you're coming in from out of town. I see that Dr. Steve's at the Strath Allen. That's a very nice hotel. Come in, stay somewhere, and check us out. The Isotopes, that is, at Rochester Beer Park. We're playing at 7 p.m., $5 cover for that. Also,
you guys going to do a lot of Super Mario songs?
We'll definitely play Super Mario on that one. Yes.
Every video game.
Excellent.
Yeah. We used to do Tyson's Punch-Out way back in the day. That's a fun song, too. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring that back. Also, we encourage our listeners to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, then shit all over us in the comment section. Today, we'll be reviewing a show called If I Were You. This was a suggestion from Ted Rose. We have both listened to it separately. We have not discussed it with each other beforehand. Let's get into it. This is a show hosted by Jake Hurwitz and Amir Blumenfeld. And the description is, tune in every Monday to If I Were You as Jake Hurwitz and Amir Blumenfeld offer advice in areas they're qualified to talk about. Also in areas they're not qualified to talk about. Email them with your own sticky situations and they'll find the solution. So quick background on these guys. They used to do a web series that was picked up by College Humor. They were like a sketch show guys.
Right.
And scripted, I kind of remember them. Scripted, they're pretty funny, but when they're doing a podcast, this was tough to get through, Mike. What did you think?
It was rough, and I think we landed on a good episode because the latest episode, there was a lot to pull from, but I needed to go back to a couple others, and it was just boring. Like, there wasn't even a lot to pull. But they've been, the amazing thing is they've been doing it for 12 years, so they're dedicated to it, I guess.
Yeah, they started this in 2013. I think it went away for a little while, and then it came back, but this is an example of the advice they give. So a guy writes into them and says, I have a roommate, he's 21 years old, he drinks Monster Energy drinks, and he's kind of a slob, and I don't like the food he cooks. And this is the advice. So there's 2 ways to do this. And Loveline is the perfect example of this. Either you're Dr. Drew or you're Adam Carolla. Like, either give real advice that will help them, or crack wise and make it fun for everybody. Yeah. This is neither of those things.
Oh.
So he can't do anything about it.
It doesn't seem like... Maybe you could make light suggestions. You know, maybe you could ask him to clean up after himself.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Your roommate's a slob? Well, why don't you tell him to clean up more? Oh, thanks. I'm glad I sent in my question.
That's pretty good.
Never would have came up with that one on my own. Thank you.
Well, actually, so I think I have clips from this same question. I believe it's clip number 13, where they kind of give perspective on how old they think 21 is, and I find it fascinating.
I mean, at 21, it's rare that you're going to have a good roommate, I think.
Because most 21-year-olds are not nice people.
Yeah, they're living on their own for the first time, so they're still figuring it out. You don't necessarily know how to cook. You don't necessarily know how to clean up after yourself.
Yeah, you were like 14 7 years ago, and now you're feeding yourself.
Yeah.
Cooking, I'll grant you, but feeding yourself.
Yeah. I like that. What is 21? Well, it's when, 7 years ago you were 14. We could play this game all day, right? And in 7 more years, I'll be 28. Wow. This is amazing.
Crushing it.
Factors of 7 show coming at you.
It's also kind of amazing to me that they do an advice show, which is, I mean, as much as I'd love to do, I'd start sending me emails. I'd love to do an advice show because it's inherently lazy, but they also only do like 40-minute episodes.
Well, the crazy thing about this episode that we're talking about is they do their little banter in the beginning that's just boring. And I mean, seriously, these guys are not interesting. Like, they're not even trying to be interesting. And I was making notes on here. Like, I hope that someday I get to a point where I could just phone it in and I have an audience that follows me around doing nothing. Because that's amazing.
To be fair, I've started that and I don't have an audience. So.
Well, good on you. I think you're doing it in the wrong order, but sure. Good on you. So they do their little banter. Then they answer this question about the roommate. Then they go to commercials. Then they come back and then they do more banter. And then they go to commercials again. And then they come back and do one more question. So over 46 minutes, there are 2 questions that are asked and kind of answered a little bit, sort of.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the format or it's just an excuse for them to get together and
My
be
favorite
friends.
part of that format is they'll go to break by saying, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
But the ads are them talking. So, like, why even say that?
Right, it'd be more seamless if they went, this show is brought to you
I would think
by
so, yeah.
Manscaped. Shave
Well,
your
actually,
balls.
I have an example of their ads if you want to hear it.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So they do a Squarespace ad.
Yeah.
And it's my number 7. Typically, I would say I've been mentored to feel that the best ad reads are more conversational because it keeps people from skipping ahead.
You want it to
I would
sound
make
like the content of your show.
Yes. I would make the exception with these guys where if I were Squarespace, I'd be like, boys, don't riff. Stick to the script, please.
You can even buy a .com through Squarespace. Jake, what can people buy today?
Kindadry.com.
Oh, interesting.
Kinda Dry.
For like wines or something?
For wines, for weather, for something that you sell that's a little bit dry but not super dry. Yeah,
That's pretty good. Kindadry.com.
Kind of dry. Oh, even sense like a kind of sense of humor, like a blog thing, you know? Yeah,
Oh, yeah, like if you're kinda rye.
exactly.
Mine is resin23.com. Like if somebody
Resin?
makes like a pretty cool movie called that, you're sort of ahead of the game.
That's nice. That's kind of dry.
23. You can have one forward to the other if you want to go full hog. Buy both.
Yeah.
It was an incredibly long way of saying you can get a website.
Yeah, by a domain name.
Yeah, just whatever your thing is, buy that domain name.
I would think kindadry.com you'd have anal sex with no lube. That would be a fun.
Now we're talking. Now we've got a business plan. Let's go to Squarespace.
Let's go to Squarespace and set it up. And you could use promo code if I were you and get your whatever percentage off of that. You know what's
So
weird
these
about
guys-
these guys is that they
Yeah.
now you won't know this, Mike, but they look the same. They didn't used to. You go
Right.
back to their old videos and they very much are different people, but they've morphed into each other. They've taken on characteristics of each other so that they look the same. They also sound the same. They also have this like male vocal fry thing going where they're just disinterested and uninteresting. And so it's very difficult. Like, I didn't realize this was a video show when you sent me over a video because I was like, oh, okay, cool, I can watch it.
Yeah.
Because if I was just listening to this, I wouldn't know who was talking at any given time. They're kind of
And
the same
it's-
person.
It's this generational thing where, like, when I was in high school, my favorite shows were like The Office and Parks and Rec. But like what they unfortunately did is bred a generation of comedy where it's like, isn't this kind of awkward that I'm saying this? Ooh, I'm a little dumb. Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
they have this kind of oops-a-daisies feel, and that's what this entire podcast is.
Yeah, I put down a note. I said, this is a show for people who think Modern Family is a little too edgy. That's who would find this humorous.
Perfect description. Yeah.
I don't know how lonely and lame you'd have to be to find this interesting, but you'd have to be pretty lonely and very lame. This is how they start off the show. People submit their own theme songs for them, is what I was gathering.
Oh, yeah. I didn't pull this because I figured as a music guy, I said I'll leave this to Carl.
Oh, you don't have to be a music guy to think this sucks. Trust me on that. Jake is rocking out. He's got the heart with his hands. He's acting like he's enjoying it.
On the other side of heart. I can't. On the other side of heart. I can't park. On the other side of
The experience, it's all been done.
And I can't park my car.
Ooh. That was fun.
I don't know what to think or feel.
Well, you should think that sucks, and you should feel like you should stop doing this bit. I like how they're trying to confuse you. So they look the same now, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yep.
And behind them is their names, but they don't correspond. They're actually opposites. So Amir's on the left, Jake's on the right, but
That's what is so frustrating about this entire podcast. Where it's
so
like,
annoying.
isn't that kind of odd? That's not exactly how you'd expect this to go.
So this is terrible, this show.
It's pretty rough. I think my clip number 4 is probably the best to give people a feel for like their brand of A, humor, and B, intelligence. Because I can never quite tell like if are they joking, are they purposely being weird? It's a fine line they're walking.
Do cats know their own names?
I don't know.
I've never heard someone call a cat and the cat comes over.
I've seen that before, but who knows if the cat is like responding to its name or the voice or the tone that like is associates.
Just like a noise.
I don't even know if dogs know their own names.
If I could give Amir some advice, I know this is unrelated to what they just said. I would put the camera angle a little higher. You never want to be looking down at the camera. It's not a good
Even a man with
look.
my eyes thought the same thing.
Yeah, you
Because
noticed
at
that
one
too?
they talk about how healthy he is. So I assume he's in like good shape, like he eats very well, I
Yes.
guess. And you would not know that from the camera angle he's chosen.
No, they don't. Neither of them look healthy at all. That was some spicy cat talk. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail us.
I just like the idea that they're like, is this guy going to respond? If I call him Hector, will the cat respond? Does he know his name? No, they don't. They don't speak English. I don't know what you're asking.
Well, does the horse know it won the Kentucky Derby? That's the question I have. Does the horse know?
Yeah,
All
it's an
right.
Abbott and Costello bit, really.
So Amir, I guess it is pretty healthy guy, and they're talking about these cheat meals that they do. And so, Amir admits to what he likes to do for a cheat meal.
Do you ever have a cheat meal?
I'm serious. Yes, I do. Sometimes I'll order like a cheeseburger from a smash burger type place and French fries. Yeah.
Cheeseburger, fries, milkshake. What are you drinking?
I don't like milkshakes with salty food. It's
Okay.
too different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
need
don't like savory and sweet.
I need almost like bubbly water to help let everything go down. I can't go straight into like milk with ice cream.
And do you feel ill when you eat that much, or do you feel good for you?
I feel good while it's happening, and then when I'm done, I don't feel great. I feel like it's like not going all the way down.
How often are you doing that?
Maybe twice a month.
Twice a month.
Because I try not to do it too much.
Yeah.
That's not content, guys. I'm sorry. What I just played for you right there is not a show.
It's very relatable, though. You know, like how guilty you feel when you eat a cheeseburger? My God.
So boring. I don't know if they realize how boring they are and how
It's very
annoying this
rough.
is.
And they are, the strange thing is, like, you can tell in their speech pattern I'm a Bo Burnham fan, so maybe I just pick up on this. They're clearly very influenced by Bo Burnham. I think they worked with him when they were at College Humor or something.
Yeah.
But they're significantly older, which is odd to take influence from a guy 10 years younger than you.
Yeah, it usually goes the other direction. Actually, let me read this from their wiki page because they do have a younger audience, I think.
Right.
Jake says that he enjoys reaching out to nerdy younger fans because they can act as role models to show that their best days are ahead of them. Quote, "We're like a little beacon of hope for losers that are told they're going to be cool in 10 years. Anyone listening to the show, you will not be cool in 10 years. All right? It's not going to happen for you. Sorry.
I can't imagine. There was also a clip I didn't pull, but they just kind of referenced the fact that I guess Jake hid for a while that he had a girlfriend to keep up his, quote, Playboy image.
Right, yeah.
I don't get the sense that either of these guys are like that, which is fine. Like, if you're nerds, be nerds, but they're walking a weird line where they're kind of trying to be cool, but also trying to be nerdy.
They started this whole network, the HeadGum Network. These guys are the founders of it. And I don't know if you're familiar with the HeadGum podcast.
I know of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't an interesting podcast to be found on there. Like I think they have Doughboys on that, which is a huge show, and it's unlistenable. It's just, I don't know. I guess I like jokes that are funny, so I don't get.
Well, maybe that's their brand, is unlistenable content.
Yeah, well,
they're doing a good job.
I mean, maybe, obviously. All right, let's get back to this question that came in about the roommate here.
Ah, yes.
And from what I've gathered, the only food he can make in our kitchen is frozen Salisbury steak TV dinners, which smell absolutely terrible. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard the word TV dinner since the 80s.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think
I
of
have a
that.
question about these questions.
Yeah.
Who is asking these guys questions?
I guess they're listeners.
They're fans.
They
yeah.
don't seem to be good at anything. Who trusts them?
Right. If you have a real
that's the-
problem, don't go
No,
here.
Chris, you don't understand. That's the wackiness. Is who would trust these guys to answer questions?
So I was thinking, Mike, since I don't want to talk about this show forever because it's really boring and it's going to suck the energy out of our show, I was thinking that maybe people on the Discord and on YouTube could ask us questions, and then we
that'd
could
be
give
fun.
out some advice. Because you were saying before, like, that would be a fun show format. Not for anyone other than us.
I'm a very
But-
worldly man. I've got a lot of
All right.
knowledge in here I'd like to share.
All right, guys, let the questions come in. And I have a question for the listeners. Does anyone refer to frozen meals as TV dinners? Is that a thing anymore? Because I literally Googled it. I'm like, are there really TV dinners still going on? I haven't
That's
seen
fun.
one.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I have not heard that reference since the 90s.
I mean, I live on the right side of the track, so maybe that's why I'm unfamiliar with this food choice. But
That's true. You're on the up and up.
All right, well, here's a fun little ad read. So this is one of the ad reads that I had to check out, and it's for this product called Backbone.
Okay.
Jake, what's holding you back from the ultimate gaming experience?
Probably that I can't do it on my phone.
Yes, well, now you can because Backbone is the newest game-changing essential that transforms your iPhone into a handheld console so you can play anywhere, anytime.
That's perfect.
You just plug your iPhone to the Backbone, which are console quality controls with responsive buttons and triggers, clickable analog sticks, and more, and then you can play Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and App Store games.
It's really elegant.
They're so smooth. It's so conversational. You wouldn't even know he was reading.
Is this
when
an
he's doing
ad, or
that.
you guys just? Is this a product you have? I can't tell.
Holy shit. And by the way, this is the dumbest product. It's literally a joystick that snaps onto your phone so you can play games. Anyone who wants to play games that badly is not going to do it on their iPhone.
I think they have the proper equipment. Probably.
Yeah, I think they're going to pull it off somewhere else. So it's a really stupid product. And they go on and they talk about all the perks that you get if you sign up using their promo code. And they don't understand any of them. They're like 3 months of Discord and then 2 months of Sony, and they're like, sounds great. Okay, cool.
Well, they do this thing where they try to be. I guess it's almost like a Seinfeldian, like, hey, we could talk about nothing and make something out of it. Like, clip number 8 is the most nonsensical. Amir poses this question, and his examples, it doesn't make any sense to me why he would think this is a topic.
How's this one? And actually, you can try it on for size.
Okay.
Bring your favorite pillow with you when you travel.
No way. Absolutely not. No fucking chance.
Let me try to sell it to you.
No. Yeah,
How
go ahead.
often
Try.
do you find yourself in an Airbnb/cabin/hotel and it just feels something is not quite right? I would say that a pillow in your luggage is more important than an extra sweatshirt or two, a jacket perhaps. You can always deal with that when you get there. If you have the pillow that you know and love with you at all times,
we get it.
you can enjoy that vacation like it is your comfortable bed at home that you've tailor-made to your specific situation.
Yeah, I clipped maybe 1% of this discussion, by the way. it went on
Holy
for
shit, dude, I get it. You think
went
your
on
pillow's
for-
comfortable. You want to have it with you when you sleep in other places. Like, okay. Good on
legitimately
you.
five full minutes they have this debate. But my favorite part in there is that he's like, who needs shirts and pants when you can bring,
Right,
when
yeah,
you can
as long
bring
as
an
you have
extra pillow?
You're fine, right? Oh, did you go somewhere that's cold? You don't have a coat or a sweatshirt? Whatever, I got my pillow.
Yeah, you have
So
a
we're good to
fifth
go.
pillow on the bed. That's
I
terrific.
wish that conversation had turned into a conversation about my pillow, and then the fact that the vote was stolen. Then it would have been interesting, right? Then I would have gotten into it a little bit.
Well, actually, I don't know if you caught this because it was somewhat subtle in the episode, the most recent episode. Play clip number 11 where they're just doing their plugs.
Thank you guys for listening to this as you do a podcast. Thank you guys maybe for watching this on our YouTube.
Yep.
And if you want more of me and Jake, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/JA.
Ja.
We're watching Jake and Amir episodes, giving commentary, shedding light, insight.
That's correct.
Walking
That's
down
correct.
memory lane. So you can check us
So-
out there as well.
So I thought to myself, I certainly didn't hear that right, that they are going back through episodes of their own show. Now, maybe I'm not that guy to criticize this because if you go to my Patreon, we're watching old episodes of Quincy. but at least it's not me looking at me talking about me. So I said that can't be right. But then I went to the episode a couple episodes prior, clip number 16, where they stumble upon this brilliant idea.
We should listen to old episodes. I wonder if I sound different, feel different, how different the vibes are.
There are podcasts that I have subscribed to that like do an episode, a new episode, and then they do like a rewind episode.
A classic.
Yeah, and they like do a new intro for it or something.
Oh, interesting.
So it would be kind of interesting for us to be like, okay, we're going to post episode 42
as a bonus
Thursday. But in order to do that and make it a little more interesting, we listen to it and then talk about it before and maybe afterwards.
I see. Like, can you believe I sounded like that / said that thing / thought that thing?
Does that sound interesting or lazy?
Can you believe it? It would actually be better. So the thing is, all these old episodes of theirs are available for free.
Yes.
It would be better content if they made those exclusive Patreon episodes without their fucking commentary.
Well, it's funny because I was just on the Drew and Mike show this week, and that what was the TV show that I was reviewing with them? It was some TGI Friday TV show. It was Pod Meets World, Boy Meets World.
Okay.
Three of the actors from that are doing the show now. Pod Meets World. It just started. And it's another one of these shows, and Office Ladies, I think, was like the first big one to do this, where you have these washed up actors who are like, hey, why don't we just do a podcast about a show that people used to watch, and we'll just go through and watch every episode. But no one does this with their web series.
If you're watching Tarantino, like DVD commentary, he can add layers that you're not aware of.
Of course.
This is not a layered podcast where you're like, I wonder what Jake is thinking in this moment.
Well, then they go back because Amir has his laptop on his lap the whole time, and he's just staring at it and shoving his fingers in his mouth, which I'll get into later, because he's constantly talking with his finger in his mouth, which is so obnoxious. Like, these guys just need like a program director or someone to go in there and go, hey, figure out of the mouth, asshole, you're talking. Stop it with that. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that real quick. So he's got his laptop, and he's looking through it, and he's like, holy shit, I have this old podcast that I recorded that we never put out from 9 years ago. And he's not sure if he wants to put it out.
Another funny podcast that you made was that we never released that I think we should make is the one where you clone yourself.
Yeah, that was much more recent.
Yeah, that was.
I have them. Everything, nothing. Holy shit!
Really? How long are they?
So 2013. They're. Oh my god! There's 15 of them.
15?
Yeah. Holy shit!
Play one. Just go to the middle really quick.
I'm afraid it's terrible.
Oh, you're embarrassed by that? That's the embarrassing thing. Oh, I could never do that. It's embarrassing. Dude.
But again, this would be better Patreon content, breaking down something we haven't heard.
Yes, putting out something that people have not heard before would be a little bit more interesting. I just thought it was hilarious. They're doing one of the most boring shows I've ever seen on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of boring shows on YouTube. It's my job. And these guys are sitting there going, I don't know if I can put out this thing. You were probably trying harder back then. It might be better.
I would love someday to check out your Patreon and just see that one of the episodes is you watching you and just being like, this is what I was thinking. When I called Stuttering John an idiot here, here's what I meant. I meant that I don't think he's as smart as he portrays himself.
In my notes, I had written, call him Stuttering Fuckface, but I totally missed the note. I need to put it in bold next time because I didn't call him Stuttering Fuckface. I called him Shit for Brains, which was not in my notes. That was ad-libbed.
That was just improv. And my skills were on display.
Holy shit. This is weird because I think that their audience is women and girls.
Yeah, young college kids, it seems like.
Yeah, that would be my guess because this is just a weird thing to say.
It is funny to think that in high school you had crushes at like 7 a.m. You rarely have a pre-8 a.m. crush nowadays.
First off, that's stupid. Because they're talking about how I used to have crushes at someone in high school and like you'd see them at 7 a.m. It's like nowadays, I'm not hot and bothered about someone until 8 a.m. Like, oh, okay. Whatever.
I guess.
Whatever. But then it gets really stupid.
Yeah.
When else would you see someone so early?
It's fun to have a crush.
Yeah.
To know that you'll just be around the person you like.
And
Exciting.
And getting married is like feeling that every day. When I go to bed, when I wake up, it's a constant state of butterflies.
Are you getting married?
Well, I'm not married, but like, the fact that you find that person to have those feelings with 24/7, even if we're just like eating dinner.
The butterflies
next to each
don't go
other.
away. The spark never
Exactly.
dies. It burns bright. Yeah, that's the best part about being married.
What kind of chick shit is this?
I don't know,
What's
man.
going on right now?
It's also very indicative of, when you see like on Instagram, someone is like, me and my best friend, my love, we are so in love. And then like a month later, you found out they broke up.
Yeah.
that is what that sounds like.
It's
I think
always,
the relationship
it's always
is
those
doomed.
cucks who are showing you how much their lives are amazing all over social media. Oh my gosh, everything's so great. And then you see them at the bar 2 months later and they're
Crying.
I
Drinking
like my
whiskey with a
girlfriend, so
straw.
I don't talk about it that much because it's not interesting.
Right. I don't talk about my wife that much, but everybody else does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
We all do. She makes the rounds.
Even Mike's scoring on me. All right, what else did you pick up on, buddy?
Let's see. Well, number 2. So these guys strike me as like I said, it is a popular show. So it seems like they seem like guys that would definitely know the internet and how to work algorithms and things like that.
Yeah.
So clip number 2, again, I can't tell. Maybe they're being ironic, but I don't think they know like basic. They don't know what subtweeting means or anything like that.
The big thing that I'm trying to figure out is getting
How
on
to drop
Spotify.
it. Yeah, how do you drop? Have you thought about tweeting for the first time in a while? And if it blows up, you'd be like, all right, I'm dropping my SoundCloud link. Here's the SoundCloud.
I guess, it could break the internet with the Schwimmer's ear tweet.
And then
it is time. And when it goes viral, inevitably, I subtweet that and I say, here's my new, link. Me and my band just dropped this song.
That's cool.
So subtweeting is if I tweeted, "Did you guys hear some asshole release music on SoundCloud?" Subtweeting is not replying to yourself, which he seems to think it is.
So,
and then,
real quick, Mike, I just want to get this out because whenever we do a show like this that has fans, and then people find our show and they go, "You guys just don't get it, you boomers. You're not understanding it." Okay, so let's say they're being ironic and he does know what that is, and he's just saying that. But the problem is that nothing's ever funny. So I have to take it at face value because there's nothing. They don't say anything that's interesting or funny. So if they're just bullshitting all the time, that's not good either.
Yeah, they never break that character. So it would be like maybe if I listen.
I'm a dumb idiot who loves my wife. Like, oh, hilarious.
Yeah, I don't imagine myself listening to 10 episodes of this and finally going, "Oh, now I get it."
The layers.
Actually, I learned a little bit about this from Trucker Andy because at band rehearsal the other night, very good. He said that he used to very good. He said that he used to listen to this show and he just got bored with it and stopped listening to it. But it gave me a little bit of an insight as to they're fun guys, they're having fun conversation, they're giving shitty advice, whatever. I think they've lost their way. I have to think they used to be better than this. It's gotten worse.
I have a buddy that's told me I told a friend who used to listen to this that I was doing this episode, and he goes, "Yeah, they've gotten real cringy. Like they used to be funny, and their sketches were funny, but I think maybe they just started mailing it in, or they lost."
I think what happens, Mike, is you have a certain audience you have to be very safe around because you don't want to piss anybody off. That's the last thing I ever think about. Oh no, I might piss someone off. And I think that's the problem with these guys is that it's just so safe that it's gotten to the point where like, okay, well, why are we even listening to this? It's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, it is.
And there's something too when you have an audience of like 20-year-old girls.
Yeah.
When you get into your 30s, now you're trying to relate to your audience rather than just naturally relating to them.
I wouldn't know anything about relating to anyone. I'll have to look that up online later. I'm sorry, I interrupted you before. Where were you going next, Mike?
Well, kind of on the same theme of like, do they not know words or are they being quirky? Clip number 19, where they're talking about, so they're pre-recording their podcast. And I don't know if you picked up on the fact that this is not a topical podcast. They don't get in a lot of issues of the day, but they're pre-recording this, so they want to let everyone know about that.
All right, we're back on a Monday, recording for the following Monday.
Look at us on top of our shit.
Yeah, on top of our shit, but also the stuff that we say today won't be evergreen. So like, what happened today in the news, and by the time it comes, like game 2 of the NBA Finals just happened, but like by the time people listen to this, the whole series might be over, basically.
Wow, that is could it possibly be? It's Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday?
Wednesday, Friday.
Oh my God.
Maybe not actually. I think it's Wednesday, Friday, Monday. Okay. So that's at the very least.
So it won't be over. But
it might be different.
It'll look different. It will be different.
If you didn't talk about that, it would have been evergreen.
Yes.
If you didn't mention the NBA Finals.
Correct, because they don't talk about sports any other time. Just leave it alone. You'll be fine.
Leave it alone.
Oh my God, Mike. So what they just described to me is that as time passes, different events occur over that time.
Yes.
Is that what I'm to believe here? So
I think that's true.
Everything that I know about the world right now today won't be the same a year from now. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Mike?
And it's important to know that when you're listening to them talk about dropping their phone in the toilet, that was last Monday. It wasn't this past Monday.
Who cares? I don't understand these shows that need a week to put out their episode. I'm sure these guys have a whole team and a production team, and they're putting the videos together and editing it and stuff. That's just crazy to me. I feel bad when it takes me a couple days to put out a video or something.
Yeah, I mean, I pre-record stuff when it's just going to be easier. Like, we'll record Why Are You Laughing a few at a time because it's evergreen, as they say.
And
you can put them out whenever you want.
Yes.
But
there won't be any new Sam Kinison news. You're fine with that.
That's true.
Good point.
Although I think I'm onto some hot leads. We might have a breaking story on there at some point.
So I mentioned that they were having this conversation about cheat meals and eating cheeseburgers and whatnot. And it's funny that even Amir has to realize that, okay, we got to get back on track and actually talk about what we're talking about. We can't just veer off in these conversations about nothing forever.
Right.
Does Avital like to do that?
Sometimes she'll get a cheeseburger, but she's usually a little healthier than me. She actually likes salads, so that could be her cheat meal.
Yeah, that's really cool.
No, it's not.
But this guy is sort of stuck with a TV dinner eating roommate who drinks energy drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that thing that we were doing? We were talking about this guy's question. I know talking about cheeseburger is amazing. Don't get me wrong. And he's got his finger shoved in his fucking mouth all the goddamn time. What's so delicious on that guy's finger? He's got buffalo sauce on it or something?
We'll find out next week.
Tune in next week.
Tease. It's not evergreen, but they are teasing.
Tell us what you think is on Amir's finger in the comment section below.
Well, if you want to stay on the food theme, this is actually the most interesting thing they said, but I did find it to be a disgusting combination. Clip number 14. Maybe I'm weird, but tell me if this grosses you out.
Didn't you used to put crumble up potato chips and put it on stuff?
Yeah, I used to do a bowl of. And this was when I was much older. Actually, my palate was refined, and I would do a bowl of Annie's with sour cream and onion Pringles as a spoon.
I see. So you would use that almost as a dip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a pasta dip.
Do you still eat Annie's macaroni and cheese?
Yes, I still love it dearly. It's my.
They just move on. He said he eats macaroni and cheese with chips as the spoon.
Well, hold on a second. I want to say this because Pringles are like the particle board of potato chips. They are not good scooping chips. They break apart so easily. You can't
Imagine when
scoop
you get to the
mac
bottom
and
of that
cheese
bowl
with a Pringle.
No.
It's impossible.
This is the conversation they should be having.
I know. If I was Amir, I'd be like, bullshit.
Now we're being interesting.
You're using a fork. I guarantee you're using a fork. I don't find it to be that gross, to be honest with you. That actually sounds pretty good.
I'm getting hungry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd put a little Frank's Red Hot on there, too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it.
Now we're talking. All right. I have other clips, but I'm already bored with these guys. What else do you want to hit before we move on?
Well, a good place to stop might be my.
We don't have
clips.
to stop. You have a lot of other clips. I don't want to just stop you, but
Well,
I'm
so
just letting you
clips
know
9
that I think I'm kind of done with what I want to say.
We can tap out soon, but I'm not letting you go that easy. Clips 9 and 10. These guys talk about Walmart in an interesting way. So number 9, I'm almost willing to give a pass, but the way they talk about Walmart to me is interesting.
It's crazy that this is, I mean, you really can't get everything at Walmart, I guess. Between a date, they probably have chips, gasoline, furniture.
Yeah, true love.
Have you
That's
been
amazing?
Have you been
You
to
can get,
Walmart?
like, a dongle in love.
Fingers
I've
on
been
your
to a
mouth.
Walmart.
They're
What do you
fucking
mean? Recently?
Yeah, just like, because I know there's not any in New York or LA, right? They're sort of bigger in the middle of America.
He's chewing on his
I guess
finger.
maybe so. I mean, there's like a Walmart in my hometown. I've definitely been there relatively recently.
So
I'm so
Amir's kind of
distracted.
like,
I'm sorry, Mike. Please recap what we just heard. I'm just mesmerized by this guy shoving his fingers in his mouth the whole fucking podcast.
that's what made this easier for me. I couldn't see any of that, so I was able to really get my teeth into the content. But what you heard there was him like kind of being fascinated with the concept of Walmart, which if he grew up in Los Angeles, which it sounded like he did, I'm willing to give that a pass. But then clip number 10 is what really blew me away. Where
Hold on a second. There are definitely Walmarts in Los Angeles.
But okay,
don't act like there's a place in America where they're like, Walmart, what?
I'm glad you said that. 'Cause as a kid from Western Massachusetts, I was like, maybe I just don't know the world enough. Maybe there are no Walmarts.
Trust me, there are certainly neighborhoods in LA that don't have Walmarts, but it's not that far of a drive to one. You've driven past one on the expressway, I'm sure.
Well, then that should make clip number 10 even more baffling, because yet again, I'm left to wonder, is this a real, legitimate question that he's asking, or is he being wacky?
And just for the people on YouTube, I do know that impossible is not the word. That wasn't Ralph Wiggum, all right?
Oh, shit.
Leave Carl alone.
Me failing.
You think when he says I get a drink, he means like a Diet Pepsi, or like there's like a bar at this Walmart?
I think he means like a Diet Pepsi, like a Gatorade. You know, Walmarts, they have the Pizza Huts, they have the coffee
deli
shop
aisle.
in the front. Yeah. And then they have, the drinks aisle.
It's not like a bar or anything.
Pizza Hut?
I've never been to the Walmart in this person's town, but I don't think there is a bar there. No.
That's a pretty safe bet, Jake.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty safe to assume. So again, like he sounds like he's genuinely asking, but if someone said to you, hey, I'm going to grab a drink from Walmart, would you be like, oh, you're getting shit-faced at this time of day?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. And by the way, putting bars in Walmart's actually a good idea. I'll say it right now. They'll double their sales.
Well, it's funny you say that, Carl, because they go on for about...
They double their bar fights.
They go on for about 45 minutes, like with an idea of what if we pitched a sitcom where a town was Walmart? And it's like, well, I guess, man, I don't know.
Cool.
And I'm sure their fans are like, I asked a question. Can you get to that? You do 2 questions an episode.
They're way too impressed with Walmarts. This is something that everyone's very much aware of and probably goes to pretty regularly. Yeah. And they're trying to dissect it like, wait, you can get Gatorade there, but you can't get a shot of whiskey, right?
Down.
You're telling me.
Who are these podcasts?